It's time.
I think I'm ready, okay?
Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm DivaDadd-e. This is a safe space for diva stans, women's wrestling fans, and nobody else. And today we are kicking off the road to WWE 2K24. Wow, but what a year. Looking back, what a year 2K23 was.
That can't be it. That can't be it.
Can I just say how fast a whole year went by? Now, I believe I'm uploading this video earlier than I did last year's, but like, I feel like I was just here. But alas, we're back and we about to get the ball started because as you guys know, 2K23, as soon as that DLC ends, there's not really much to look forward to, and I'm not really a my faction player. So what's left to do other than, you know, start predicting, start dreaming, start imagining what's to come in the next installment of the 2K franchise. Before we get into this video, make sure to leave a like for more 2K24 wish list, predictions, and, you know, the shit that I want to see. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on them damn post notifications so you never miss an upload, because you're never going to see when they're coming. Also, if you want to keep up with me elsewhere, make sure to follow me on X, FKA Twitter, at DivaDadd-e. That's where I post my creation content. That's where I live tweet wrestling shows. That's where I talk my shit. But without further ado, let's get into the WWE 2K24 women's safe space for women's wrestling fans, diva fans, and nobody else. Women's predictions. Just women. Period. So just like last year's video, we're going to be dividing it up in different categories, starting with Raw, then going over to SmackDown, then checking out NXT, one of my personal favorites. Then we're going to go look at some legends, and then my all-time favorites, and the space where, you know, it's literally a fucking free-for-all. DLC, because you never know what we're going to get every year with this. And that's what I love about these games. All right, so kicking off the Raw Women's Division, we have none other than Miss 5 Feet of Fury herself, Miss Alexa Bliss. Now, Miss Alexa has been on like maternity leave. As we all know, Miss Mother has, you know, actually become a mother. So she's been absent for a long while. I'm not too sure when she's going to come back. Who knows if she'll even be back next year. She might take a whole year off and come back in what, 2025? Who knows? We're just going to get, you know, her Royal Rumble gear that she wore when she faced Bianca at the top of this year. It's cute. It's edgy. Yeah. Moving on. Next, we have the man, FKA Big Time Bex. We have Miss Becky Lynch, the queen of putting, you know, fresh new talent over. Can we just give it up for Becky Lynch? I feel like this year has been the year where I'm finally going to give Becky Lynch her 10s. The way Becky has been, you know, going down to NXT, elevating that division, giving girls like, you know, their best matches. I have to give it up for Miss Bex. So when it comes to 2K24, what I see Miss Bex wearing, she's been keeping it, you know, a little tame this year. Last year, we got Big Time Bex. We got a lot of avant-garde, fashion forward, futuristic looking fits. I think they're going to tame it down this year. I think she's just going to be wearing, you know, like the bodysuit, black and orange. I feel like that's kind of been her thing this year. I do, however, want this to be the first time Becky wearing a bust down. I want Becky Lynch to have a bust down. I want exactly her wig to look like this. I want the ginger orange locks with the blonde bangs going down the side, you know. I either want it a little wavy or I want it straight, but I want it long above all. I want Becky to have a bust down in this game. I want it to give gorgeous, and I'm confident that 2K24 will give us just that. Please. All right, moving on from Big Time Bex, we have FABULOUS. Yes. We have another soon to be mother, or did she give birth over? So already mother, Miss Carmella, she had a return at the top of this year. She started, you know, teaming with Chelsea Green, but that came to a screeching halt when she announced that she is becoming a mother. But can I just say, like, the gears were gearing during this little comeback stint that she had. The hair back brown. She had a new entrance theme with the FABULOUS intro cut back. Ugh, give it up for mother. And when it comes to her gear, I think she's going to be wearing, you know, her comeback gear. She wore this in about I think maybe 1 or 2 other color variations. She's wearing this orange one, and I believe she has a green one. Maybe I made up that she had another one other than those 2, but either this orange or the green, I would see her wearing it, and it's just so sexy. Like the pants and then the thong pulled up as well. I believe that's snake skin. It's gone. She's more than likely going to be looking like this in the next game, and I cannot wait. She's going to slay. Yes. Next, we have Miss Candice LeRae making her base game return to the 2K franchise, because we all know she returned too late to make base game for 2K23. And then they graciously patched her in because, to be honest, not much really changed about Miss Candice LeRae, so they're able to just slide her back in. But for this game, she's going to be there day one. And when it comes to her gear, this was one of her return gears. I think this is one of my favorites that she's worn. I just love the mix of colors. I love the green, I love the pink or fuchsia, and then I love the black. It's a serve. Moving on from Miss Candice LeRae, we have the debuting Chelsea Green. When Chelsea Green got released in 2021, I was literally heartbroken because I was waiting for her inclusion in WWE 2K. And the fact that she got released and they got her out of there, and she even said herself that she got scanned for the game. So you know that file, that model, the textures was just sitting in a file somewhere, and it just got, dragged to the trash bin. Didn't even have a chance. But finally, Miss Thing is going to be in the base game. She's back, returned at the top of the year at the Royal Rumble, and she's going to serve the most cut, I think. One half of the women's tag team champions, mind you. Now, who knows? Things can change by the time the game comes out. I feel like when it comes to the champions that they have on the game, like they could easily swap those in and out and, plug things here and there, because that's just an easy little swappies. As for now, Chelsea Green is going to be the women's tag team champion in the game. When it comes to her gear, however, I just put her purple WrestleMania gear just because it was so fun and sickening. But with Miss Chelsea Green, she has given us a fresh, sickening look basically on a weekly basis. She unlocked the infinite gear glitch. She has something new, fresh, and exciting almost every time she's appeared on television. We actually have to give it up for her. Not only does she maximize her screen time every time she's on that WWE screen, but she got a new look for us every single time as well. And she takes no days off from serving. So although I did put her WrestleMania gear here, she could be wearing anything and I'd be satisfied, except I don't think I want her Royal Rumble return gear. Don't jump me for that. But even this black and red one, this was a serve. Moving on, we have none other than the second half of the women's tag team champions in Piper Niven. Now, Chelsea originally won the titles with Sonya. We all know Sonya got injured. Piper stepped in and said, I'll be taking that, and just, inserted herself as tag team champion. Mother for that. That's mother duties. Feels correct. And when it comes to Miss Piper's gear, oh my God, can I just mention something for a quick sec? Piper's gear in last game was atrocious. Whoever was in charge of selecting gear for that, why? And the fact that they even slapped those black tights underneath that gear too, I feel like it would have been a little bit cuter if they didn't. But they slapped those black tights on her, giving SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 Mickie James. I can't. I feel like she's just gonna wear this. This has been her comeback gear. Maybe she'll have some face paint. Who knows? I'm not that big of a fan of face paint if it's something that's not consistent with every single look that a wrestler be given. So if she looks just like her render, I would not be mine. But this look with the pull to the side with the locks hanging, I can see that from Miss Dewdrop. Next we have Miss Katana Chance. Now I feel like in this game she's gonna be wearing this blue gear. Last game she didn't match with Miss Kaden Carter. She's on the main roster now, mind you. She's got called up between last game and this game, and I just feel like maybe now is the time for them to match. So I feel like she's going to be wearing this blue look. And as for her tag team partner, Kaden Carter, same thing. I feel like they're going to be wearing this blue look. By the way, would love to see more of them on my TV. I feel like they're an exciting duo to watch. Hello, Monday Night Raw. Push these ladies, put them in random tag team matches, showcase their talent, have the audience gag. They have the gag potential. Next, moving on, we have none other than the Queen of Hearts herself, Natalya. Natalya has been in the WWE Games franchise for 14 years. That is one of the longest tenured women of all time, if not the longest, consistently, despite her being DLC for one game, but we're not even going to get into that.
You sneaky bitch.
And when it comes to Miss Natter's gear, I want to see her in this cute white pink tribute to her dad. I love the little, I don't even know what that hat's called. It kind of looks like a chef's hat. Yeah. And I also wouldn't mind her, you know, with the short straight hair as well. I feel like we've been seeing ponytails on Natty for as long as I can remember, or half up, half down, top knots. So like to have her hair like straight now, I believe it's like braided at the top. And anyways, I wouldn't mind seeing this Natty look. I feel like she would pull it off. She'd look cunt, she'd look cute. And yeah, something new for Miss Natty. Moving on, next we have Nikki Cross. Now, it was so unfortunate that 2K23 did not have a Nikki Cross model, despite her literally going back to that gimmick and character, I swear, before the game even came out. And I just found it funny because like she had a whole Nikki Cross model in the game previous to that, despite her having the whole Nikki ASH character throughout the majority of the year during that time. So the fact that we didn't get a Nikki Cross this game was kind of interesting. But she's definitely going to be making a comeback in this game. And when it comes to her gear, I just think she's going to be wearing like the black corset. And I feel like this screenshot was fairly recent. So she's going to be wearing the black corset with some kind of red or maroon tights. She's kind of sporting like a new gimmick where she's like hypnotized. Don't know how they're going to implement that, if they're going to implement that, but yep, expect Miss Nikki Cross to make a full comeback in 2K24. Next, we have Ivy Nile representing the Diamond Mine. Now, Miss Ivy Nile recently got called up to the main roster. And as we all know, she was DLC in 2K23. So she's definitely going to be making her return in this game. Will she be on the main roster? I feel like that's a little, you know, just like how championships, you can like edit her and make her on Raw. Very simple. Comes to her gear, I believe she'll be wearing like maybe tights this time around. She had the shorts with the garters and the boots. I feel like they'll just slap, you know, some kind of tights on her because she's been, you know, alternating between the two. And then when it comes to her hair, I feel like she'll have like the cornrows or the braids and something like that. Next, we got one of the most like highly anticipated wrestling debuts, for me at least, Maxine Dupri. Maxine Dupri. Now, going back to WWE 2K23, Marseille and Mansoir made their Maximum Male Models debut in 2K23. They were in the last game as their past characters. They made their debut as Maximum Male Models in 2K23. However, Miss Maxine didn't make the cut. But you know what did make the cut? 2 different tag team entrances and 1 trio entrance. You know what also made the cut? Hidden Maxine Dupri renders in the files. Interesting. But I do think that in 2K24, Maxine is going to come in swinging. And I can only pray that she's not just a manager, that she's also a wrestler. Because the past couple months, baby, we have been seeing Maxine throw it down, okay? Really over with the fans after joining the Alpha Academy, which she more than likely will be representing and will be part of the faction in the game once it comes out. So just, you know, give her a wrestling model. Like, don't make her locked as a manager. Like, the more wrestlers in the game, the better. And when it comes to her wrestling gear, I mean, they have a lot of options to choose from. They have about like 4 or 5. But I think they're just gonna stick with like, you know, her debut ring gear, the white and red. And when it comes to her hairstyle, this is what I thought about. I feel like they should give her both a manager model and an in-ring wrestling model. And we can like interchange them. If you want to have her wrestle in a ponytail, we can. If you wanted to have her wrestle in a bust down, we can. If you wanted to wrestle half up, half down, we can. I love the options. And I just think for Maxine Dupri, it would just work perfectly because she's both a valet and an in-ring competitor. If they want to put her in this gear, or if they want to put her in the black and red gear, or if they want to put her in this pink, blue, and black gear, fair game. I'm down for them all, but I would just love to see 2 different models for Ms. Maxine Dupri, especially a wrestling model. 2K, please. Moving on from Miss Dupree, we have Liv Morgan. Now, Miss Liv Morgan is another superstar that has been on hiatus. She suffered an injury and had to, drop the women's tag team titles, unfortunately. I think that's what happened. When it comes to her gear, Liv Morgan. Apparently, Liv Morgan said that the superstars get to choose their gear. So if that's the case, Miss Liv, and you get that opportunity to choose your gear this game, bitch, make it this one. This was one of Liv Morgan's best gears. I'm pretty sure y'all know the #1 reason why I'm gunning for this Liv Morgan gear. Look at those feet. Liv Morgan has the power in her hands to be the sole superstar to bring fur boots into the WWE Games franchise to Creation Suite, that is, because Melina's been in the game for a little bit and she had the boots, but they never put them in Creation Suite. So Liv Morgan, babe, I am counting on you to bring these boots into the game. I would gag if this becomes her permanent gear style and she implements those fur boots in every single look. Liv. You have one job, girl. Make us proud. Make us proud, girl. All right, moving on. We have Sonya Deville, another girlie that unfortunately got injured. Won the tag team champions with Chelsea Green. Got injured right in a blink of an eye after it. And when it comes to her gear, I feel like she'll be wearing this Royal Rumble look. I really love the top. We could use that for a Lash Legend. Maybe people could even use it for Kelly Kelly, a cute sleeve jacket with a bra underneath. I feel like it's time for a top like that to make its way into the Creation Suite. So I'm gunning for this Sonya look. Next, we have Shayna Baszler. And just like last year, I'm not too picky when it comes to Miss Shayna Baszler, so I just picked this green look that she wore against Ronda Rousey at, I think that's Money in the Bank. Maybe it's also time for some, dramatic makeup for Miss Shayna as well. Next, making the return to the 2K franchise, we have Tegan Knox. She's someone who returned way too late to make it back into 2K23. And they also, despite patching in both Mia Yim and Candice LeRae, they did not patch in Tegan Knox. I wonder why. But I feel like this model is going to completely blow her first one out of the water anyway, so I didn't mind not seeing that one make a return. When it comes to her gear, this black and green one, pretty cute. I could see her wearing it. I just can't wait to see how they're going to do her hair. Her hair is going to be definitely the standout. Moving on, we have Indy Hartwell. We still don't have her wig in Creation Suite. I've been begging for 3 years now. Since 2K23, Miss Indy Hartwell has been called up to the main roster. She's also captured the NXT Women's Championship. And when it comes to her gear, I feel like, why not just put her in the look that she won the NXT Women's Championship in? I mean, she's pretty much had the same gear format for a few years now. Just, simple color swap here and there. So I feel like this would be a cute gear to recreate for the game. Also need her wig in Creation Suite. Mind you, the person that I needed her wig for is more than likely going to be in the game this year, so I don't really need it anymore. Would it still be a cute hairstyle to have? Next, we have, representing the Judgment Day, the WWE Women's World Champion, Rhea Ripley. Mommy herself. Now, I do not think she's going to be dropping the title between now and when 2K24 comes out. So I do see her remaining Women's World Champion in this game. Mind you, the Women's World Championship will be making its debut in 2K24 around Rhea's waist if she's the champion. So glad to see that title making its debut in this game. I feel like she'll wear, why not put her in, I believe this was her Royal Rumble look. She has a bunch of different looks to choose from when it comes to this gear style. But when it comes to her hair, I think I do want to see Rhea finally with that shaggy haircut that she's been sporting over the summer, I believe, and the fall season. She had that, black shaggy Oliver from Hannah Montana. And I think she rocks it. She eats it up. And it's definitely a change from what we've seen with Rhea in the past couple games, because she's always had, the slick back wig. It's time for that dry, shaggy alternative look, you know. Representing the Viking Raiders, we have Valhalla. Now, Valhalla, FKA Sarah Logan, made her shocking return to 2K23 via DLC because she returned pretty late, 2022. So the fact that she made DLC for 2K23 pretty much gagged the community. Pretty sure she was there for a while backstage and just not debuting yet. So they probably had it written somewhere that, like, yeah, slap her in the game because we're gonna be reintroducing the Viking Raiders. And what are the Viking Raiders without their scary ass valet Valhalla? She hasn't really been wrestling much, and I believe she's just going to be wearing, you know, something like this. Is this her? I can't recall if this is the gear that she's wearing in 2K23. Like, so she very much might be copied and pasted for all we know, but she has like added like more war paint, and you know, you can see there's like Viking symbolism on her legs and stuff. So they might add in a few extra details like that, but for the most part I feel like she's pretty much, you know, copy and pasteable. Oh, Maxine, look at Maxine giving there. Ugh, if Maxine looks exactly like that, people will die. Next we have the 7-time WWE Women's Champion, the legendary, the iconic, my hometown girl, Trish Stratus. Now, Trish Stratus had a hell of a Legends run in 2023, teaming up with Zoe Stark, feuding with the man Becky Lynch. She's had a hell of a year. And as we all know, WWE Games, for whatever reason, I can never tell you in a million years as to why, but they've always been reluctant to give us a brand new Trish Stratus model. And they've always just, you know, passed her along every single year with the exact same gear. But we never got that updated Trish Stratus despite her returning, I want to say 2000, basically the Royal Rumble 2018, and any kind of wrestling match or appearance she's had since then, she's, you know, she's aged gracefully, mind you, and she's had new hair, she's had new gear styles, the jumpsuits, but they've never implemented it into the game. But I do, however, think since she had, you know, a regular superstar run this year, that it's about time that they update her. And what better look to update her than this sickening Money in the Bank look? I feel like this one and her match that she had with Becky Lynch, I believe it was it Hell in a Cell? Whatever, the last match that she had with Becky Lynch, between those two gears, those were the best of her Legends run that she's had this year. So definitely updated Trish, new wig, new face. Please, a new face, like that above all. Like, whoa, I want some new moves in there too. I think it's about time, you know, we get a new animated Stratus faction where we don't have to lean on the ropes. Like, I want it to be, you know, activated from standing in the center of the ring. I feel like one of the old games had that, so like 2K, why not? It's time. Next, we have someone who's been getting such a boost as of recent. Can we give it up for Ms. Xia Li and her performance that she's been putting on past few weeks? Those two matches that she had, Ms. Xia Li has been proving that she can hang and she can put on a show. She literally rose up from the catering ashes. I do think she's going to be wearing this black and red number, or she could be wearing the black and gold one, but I feel like this black and red one's more probable because I believe she wore this at the Royal Rumble. And when it comes to her hair, I feel like it would be in their best interest to just leave her wig the way it is because that's how she's sporting it now. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they do, in fact, give her like the cornrows. I know a lot of people will be up in arms about that, but you know, I feel like she was wearing that for a while, and you know, they like to throw us a little curveball here and there and be like, gotcha. Next, we have Raquel Rodriguez. Now, Raquel was the last superstar that I updated in this slideshow because like she's been wearing her 2K23 gear, so I was like, you might as well just copy and paste her at this point. She's gonna be wearing this purple number, this or like something else she's wore when she was tagging with Liv Morgan at the beginning of this year, or maybe even this gear that's in her render right now. Who knows? They also need to update that damn entrance because Miss Thing is showing off them pearly whites every chance that she gets. She ain't a heel anymore. Next, we have Zoe Stark making her main roster debut this year, aligning herself with Miss Trish Stratus. And when it comes to her gear, something sweet for the kids. You know, this green and turquoise one is cute, so I decided to go for that. I didn't really have much reasoning behind it. Now we have finished and wrapped up the women of Monday Night Raw, and it's time to move on to SmackDown. The first woman kicking off SmackDown, we have Bianca Belair. I'm on my own against the wall. The pressure building, but no, I will never fall. She's another one who they can surprise us with any Bianca gear. She always keeps us on our toes. I just put this pink one that she wore at the Royal Rumble. She might be wearing something totally different. But the one thing that I want is I want the bangs. Thank you for once. And I also want a lower ponytail. Now this gear, she kind of has like a mid ponytail. Like it's not right on top of her head like she has been wearing every single game entry she's been in since 2K19. Either a mid braid or a low braid. I would love to see from Miss Belair at last, please and thank you. Next we have B-Fab. Now B-Fab made her debut last game as DLC, but she unfortunately was only a manager despite having what, like 2 wrestling matches. B-Fab still has not had that many matches. She was in the Royal Rumble and I believe she's had 1 or 2 dark matches on SmackDown, so the probability of actually being an in-ring wrestler character this year is not that high. Although Hit Row has lost one of its members, so Hit Row is not really a thing anymore. So I don't know how they're going to manage B-Fab and is his name Tahuti Miles? Or is his Ashante Adonis? That's his name. I don't know how they're going to go about managing them in this game. If they're going to still keep them as a faction in Hit Row, or they're going to just make them, you know, B-Fab a random manager and Tahuti Ashante just a regular, just there, not in any faction. I don't know how they're gonna handle them, but I would love to see B-Fab as a wrestler. I feel like she has, you know, a few moves up her sleeves that can give her an entrance. It can give her a moveset that can, you know, that entrance theme. But anyways, when it comes to her gear, her Royal Rumble gear, maybe, possibly. Maybe we could see it. But I also do feel like with her wrestling gears, like she has been wearing like, you know, fast fashion and different online boutiques. So I don't know how they're going to go about implementing that. They might have to, you know, remove logos and change up some designs here and there so they don't get hit with a lawsuit. But yeah, I would love to see B-Fab finally as an in-ring competitor in the game. I love her hair too. Would love to see that hair in Creation Suite. Next, we have the iconic Empress of Tomorrow, Miss Asuka. Right now, Miss Asuka is currently representing Damage Control, but I didn't put her part of that faction in this video simply because who knows if that's going to even last to when the game comes out. I don't know. They seem pretty cool and collected now, but I feel like someone's going to turn on someone in the near future and Damage Control going to go bye-bye. So I just have Asuka here, and then with her WrestleMania gear, mind you, she is sporting an entire new look and gimmick. She's more of a darker character. She cut her hair shorter. She's wearing a new gear. I feel like either of these options she could be wearing in the new game. They did, however, make Asuka's new gear on the left here for my faction. So I don't see them just simply, you know, copy and pasting that over to the new game. I feel like they'd either make this red gear, or I believe she had a green version or whatever she's wearing now. But yes, Asuka will be sporting this new look, new entrance theme, and new face paint, and it's going to be a vibe. Next, we have one half of the Unholy Union in Alba Fire. When it comes to her gear, I believe she's going to be wearing this look that she wore when she captured the now defunct, don't know why, NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Now, I would love to see more of her on my TV. Like, what is going on? Like, where's she at? Speaking of where she at, guys, I've been looking forward to this moment for years. I've been creating this woman since WWE 2K19, and that is Miss Isla Dawn making her debut in WWE games. Now, Isla Dawn has been signed to WWE since 2018, I believe. She competed in the Mae Young Classic, so she cemented herself in that era of NXT, which I consider the Mae Young Classic era from like 2018 to like before 2.0 started. She's from the Mae Young Classic era. She's been there for years, but somehow never found her way into a WWE game. And that was simply because she was part of the brand NXT UK for the most part, for majority of those years. And for whatever reason, the NXT UK girls were just never honored in the WWE games. We only ever got like 2 at a time: Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, and then we got Piper Niven and Kaylee Ray. And then last year we got like Blair Davenport, but it was only because all those women I just mentioned made the jump over to NXT in the US, except for Kaylee Ray. She was like the default UK Women's Champion. But anyways, Miss Isla Dawn is here and she's queer. I think her gear that she's going to be sporting, I think she's going to be wearing the NXT Women's Championship gear. This was a cute look. Hair in the pigtails. I just can't wait for their entrance. Their entrance is going to chew down the tag team entrance. Isla's solo entrance, like her taunts. Like, I'm just so looking forward to the presentation of Isla Dawn in Wwe 2K24 because it's gonna eat. It's gonna eat. Next, we have Charlotte Flair, the Charlotte Flair. Now, Miss Charlotte, she has been wowing in the gear department this entire year. So it's kind of up in the air in what look they're gonna give her, because I would be fine with almost anything. But I decided to go for this orange thing just because it's, you know, it's very unique. It's not something we've really seen from Miss Charlotte Flair. And I just love the different intricate details of it. Like, I love how one breast is covered in stones and the other isn't, except for underneath. And there's like the neck piece, I believe that's going down to in between her breasts. And then she has a belt. Like, this is a really cute look. So I would love to see this. Or even the one in her render, the nude with the stones. Wouldn't mind that either. Even her return look when she defeated Ronda Rousey, that purple thing, even though she wore that once and never again, that'd be interesting to see as well. Next, we have the current women's champion representing Damage Control. It is Miss Io Sky. And Miss Io Sky has proved that she can hang with the top dogs finally this year. They slapped the belts on her. I would like them to do more with her as champion, and I feel like I want them to make her stand out more out of Damage Control, because like right now I kind of see her getting lost in the shuffle, considering that group is so big right now. It's like anyone could have been the champion in that group. I need them to do a better job of pushing Io to the forefront of the group, rather than having Bailey, or now we have Asuka and Kairi Sane at the forefront, you know, kind of taking the spotlight off the champion a bit. I believe she's been wearing this kind of gear format for a while now, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was either her render look or this backlash look that she's been wearing. Next, we have Bailey representing Damage Control once again with the new look. This was her 2K23 look, and for this year, I believe they're just gonna, you know, color swap it out and give her this gray one, but I wouldn't be mad with anything else either. Next, another Damage Control member in Dakota Kai has been absent due to injury. So when it comes to her looks, I don't know if they'll all be cohesive, but this look where she's wearing like these chaps kind of things, like I would like to see something like this. And we got her straight bust down wig that she's wearing here in 2K23, so I would like to see them have like some kind of pigtails or a bang moment for our 2K24 model. Give us something new, give us something fresh. Moving on, we have making her return to the base game, similar to Miss Candice LeRae. We have Michin Mia Yim. Now I don't know if she just goes by Michin or Michin Mia Yim, but she's definitely going to have that name in there somewhere. Now, she hasn't been featured a lot. She hasn't been put in a prominent storyline since returning back to WWE in 2022. She's definitely going to be making the base game this year with a whole new look. Like when they did add her back in last year's game, she was like, in the last game, like she was completely outdated. Like she had the new blue hair, half black, half blue with the pigtails. So they're going to be implementing this look somehow, and I do believe she'll be wearing this like blue gear that she returned with. Next, we have Miss Shotzi. Now, can we talk about changing a look and repackaging your aesthetic, your brand, your gimmick? We have to give it up for Miss Shotzi. Now, Miss Shotzi shaved her hair over the summer to stand in solidarity with her sister, who was battling or is battling cancer. So she gave herself a whole new look, and she gave herself a whole new look again because now she's rocking spiky hair. And when it comes to her model, she could be looking like anything. She could have long hair. She could have the buzz cut hair like you see in this render, or she could have the spiky hair that she's wearing now. I would live if they gave her the spiky look with this exact black hair that she's wearing here. I think it would look perfect. It would look so cool. Next, we have Miss Scarlet. Now, Scarlet was added like by the skin of her teeth in 2K23. She was a release superstar that made her return to the game. And they got her in. They managed to get her in. But once again, she was only a manager model. Now, I let it slide because she did not have a single wrestling match at all leading up to that. She was planning to go in ring, but you know, she was on the sidelines and then she got released, so she didn't really get to have a match at all. But in the time from whenever the cutoff date from the last game was to now, she's had a few matches. She had a little small rivalry with Emma. She has gear, she has moves. So I would love to finally see her as an in-ring competitor in this game wearing this gorgeous gear. So detailed, so hot. Like, ugh, her solo entrance, I could only imagine. Next, we have another OG diva legend, Tamina. And I think she's going to be wearing her last gear that she's worn in her last appearance. We have not seen Tamina. I do believe she's probably on her outs with the company. I don't think they're going to give her another match or a push or storyline here and there. I feel like she's just chilling right now and waiting to see what's next, to be honest. But her models are always snatched. They always look good in every single game. I don't expect this model to look any different. Next, we have Zelina Vega representing the LWO. Now, I believe there's some rifts going on in that stable, so I don't know how much longer that's going to last. But Miss Zelina Vega has been proving her shit all year round, competing at Backlash, Puerto Rico, although she wasn't victorious. Like, she was over as hell. I feel like this is one of the prettiest gears she's worn, but she could be wearing anything. And when it comes to hairstyle too, like she's been like switching it up and changing it up in the wig department, so she could be wearing any hairstyle as well. But I do think this gear is very, you know, symbolic of the LWO. Zelina Vega has the logo there, and just everything's pretty. Moving on to the third division of women in our 2K24 roster predictions, and that is the NXT women's division. That is the future. That is who's hot. That is who's upcoming. That is who's going to be main eventing WrestleMania one day, hopefully. Starting off with Miss Gigi Dolan. Made her debut in 2K23 representing Toxic Attraction. As we all know, that's long gone in the past. She's been busting her shit as a solo competitor, and her gears, you know, has been finding herself. But with this specific gear, bitch, oof, this is it. This is it. And I don't know if this gear might be a little too new to make the cut, but it's so gorgeous. I have to see it in the game. And the hair too. I want Gigi Dolan to be serving inches in this game. She had a shorter wig in last game. This game, give us those inches, babe. Give us those inches. Next, we have Blair Davenport. She made her debut in 2K23 as DLC, more than likely making base game this year. And when it comes to her gear, I think she's going to be wearing her gear that she returned to the company over the summer with. Bronze and gray with green kind of thing. And I wouldn't even mind the hairstyle too. It's a little shaggier than her normal straight hair that she was usually known for. Next, we have Miss Nikita Lyons, who's been absent for what feels like a lifetime due to the previous superstar that we'd mentioned after she went on her spree and attacking people in the parking lot. We have Miss Nikita Lyons. When it comes to her gear, I feel like this was the last thing she wore, so I wouldn't be shocked to see her with this. Next, we have JC Jane, another former Toxic Attraction member that made their debut last game. When it comes to her gear, I feel like this black and pink one was very reminiscent of, you know, her split from Gigi Dolan and coming into her own as a solo competitor. So I could see her wearing this. Next, we have Cora J. Now, everyone, oof. When those clips hit of the gameplay trailer, I believe, and Miss Cora was still sporting that face NXT 2.0 look, running with that skateboard with that colorful gear and the pigtails. Ooh, people were pissed. So now that that's long in the past, I feel like Cora Jade's finally gonna have her heel persona. Now, she hasn't been on TV in so long. And when it comes to her gear, I feel like this was one of the last things she wore before she took a break to, you know. So I think she's gonna give in this game. They might make, you know, some adjustments. Who knows by the time the game comes out, but she's going to be looking good. New entrance, new hair, new gear, hopefully new face, because I don't think that face was cutting it. Not everyone has the privilege of being snatched down for their first 2K model. Next, we have the debuting NXT Women's Champion, Lyra Valkyria. Now, Lyra's another one who was signed to NXT UK and has been with the WWE since, I want to say 2020, 2021, around that time, I think 2020. So she's been there for almost 4 years now at this point. But because NXT UK, they don't have whatever the contracts in place to make the game, whatever. She made her debut in NXT last fall, winter. Too late to make 2K23, so now she's finally making her debut in this game. Recently just captured the NXT Women's Champion. Will she be champion until the game comes out? Who knows? They're not strangers to making last minute decisions, as we can see last year. I feel like they'll just put her in this black, red, and gold one that she was wearing for the most part during her NXT stint. It would be gorgeous to have this gear that she's wearing in her render, but I feel like it's a little too new. But yes, welcome Miss Lyra. Next we have Roxanne Perez. Just made her debut in 2K23. Her model, her face, I feel like I could have used some work, but nonetheless, I did appreciate that she made base game rather than DLC. When it comes to her gear, I feel like they're finally going to give us like one of her iconic plaid looks. Last year we got a polka dot look. Those are her main stages, either doing polka dot or plaid or doing some kind of cosplay. We'll have to see some plaid finally. Next, we have Elektra Lopez. Now, I thought she was going to make last year's game. She didn't even make it as DLC. Now, I understand because, you know, she didn't really have that much of a prominent role. But at this point, just like put her in the game. She still doesn't have that like main top in your face role in NXT. But at this point, like just plug her in the game. She's been there since the black and gold era. Come on. Like, there's no excuse why Elektra shouldn't be in the game. Like, she should have been, like, at least she was, like, in a faction in a stable last game with Legado del Fantasma. So that kind of gagged me that she didn't make the cut. But this year, just put her in. Like, at this point, please put her in. And when it comes to her gear, she possibly could be wearing this pink one, but she's worn this in, like, blue and other colors. I wouldn't mind either of those, but I'm just going to keep repeating myself. Just put her in. Next, we have the former NXT Women's Champion in Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton is another superstar that's like, you know, this bitch is going to be main eventing WrestleMania one day. You know, she's going to be the face of the company. Like, you know, it's there. She's proved it multiple times. She knows also, too. Queen of confidence. But when it comes to her gear, it's another one where it's like she could be wearing anything. I was so obsessed with those when she returned at the top of this year. I was so obsessed with those gears, the silver with all the crystals. Such a look. Would not mind in the slightest if they chose any of those gears as her default gear in the game. I did, however, put her Barbie gear because it's just so cute. Not necessarily sure if they're going to give her the cowgirl hat, but come on, like the pink, the star, like this was such a cute gear. So I would not mind seeing this gear. The gear in her render, however, they did use that gear and it did make a 3D model of it for the matchup cards for one of the NXT pay-per-views. So I don't know if that's indicative of the gear choice that they're deciding to go with for this game. Maybe it was a little spoiler that those are the gear references that they have on file. Would not be shocked if that is in fact the gear that she'll be wearing in 2K24. Just like Chelsea Green, just like Bianca Belair, just like Charlotte Flair, like always giving us something new and fresh. So they could be wearing anything. Can't wait to see what she looks like. And I also do hope that, you know, she got some cute new moves, especially with that PE. I need to see it as a finisher, not just a corner springboard. Next, we have the debuting Thea Hale representing Chase University. Now, Thea Hale has undergone like kind of like a character change. She still is with Chase U, but I'm no bullshit. I haven't been entirely following like what's going on with them. Like, is she with Chase U? Is she not? She's a heel. Like, has a darker persona. She's now aligned with JC Jane. But I do see her still being like that crazy spunky Thea Hale that we've come to know, and representing Chase U as like a face rather than this new heel persona that she got going on with Miss JC Jane. I feel like Thea Hale should have been DLC for the last game, to be honest. I was kind of shocked that she wasn't, but she's definitely making base game this year. She's been around for a while now. Another debut, we have Kiana James. Now, whoa, talk about breakout star of NXT. Even though she hasn't really got that much of a push, this girl can go in the ring, and she proves every time in that ring why she deserves a title one day. And she actually did, in fact, get that title one day. She won the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship along with Fallon Henley. So just off of that alone, she's definitely going to be included in the base game. And when it comes to her gear, either this green or this purple fit, I'm fine with either. Queen is probably going to more than likely bring us a cute miniskirt finally in Creation Suite. So excited for that. Next, we have our former tag team partner in Fallon Henley, just like Kiana, former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion. Didn't really see them making 2K23 just because they didn't really get that prominent push at the time, but since they're former champions, more than likely making base game. And when it comes to Fallon's gear, I would be fine with either this gear that she's wearing when she won the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship or the silver and purple and black one. I'd be fine with either. She's eating in both. Both underrated ladies, might I add. Both of them, Kiana and Fallon, they can go. They can go. Next, we have Miss Wendy Chu. Mind you, the comments didn't let me forget, child. The comments made sure to let me know. I forgot to include Miss Thing in my 2K23 roster predictions. And she ended up making DLC for the game. So gag me a bit, Wendy. Gag me with a thermos and whatever you eat before you go to bed. Now, she hasn't been wrestling at all since she was included in 2K23. So will she be copied and pasted? I don't know. But to be honest, I am tired of the pajamas. I am tired of the pajamas. Give us the fit that she wore against Tiffany Stratton. I want the windbreaker and the sweatpants. It's a cute look with the pigtails too. And who knows when she returns if she'll even have this gimmick, because they're no stranger to repackaging and changing the direction of Miss Wendy. And she's the type of bitch to roll with the punches and eat up everything that she's given. You've seen it. That is a true verse queen. Next, we have Lash Legend. Now, this might be a controversial inclusion in this portion of the video, but like, honestly, put her in the game. Put Miss Lash Legend on the base game. Sis has been there since the start of 2.0. I was okay with them not putting her in the last game because, like, yes, she was fresh. She had a lot of matches actually, but she was never really pushed. She was kind of just, you know, been used as enhancement talent to put over the babyface. So I did not mind her not making the game last year, but come on, at this point, she's in a brand new stable, which is going to play into my reasoning for a few inclusions in a bit. She's in Metaphor now, so this is her push. This is her time to shine. This is her time to, you know, finally be included in the game. I need to see Miss Lash Legend finally in the game, whether that's main roster or potentially DLC. This is the look that she returned with. I wouldn't be shocked if they went with this look, but the hairstyle, no. No. She wore this hairstyle how many times? Yeah, I would love to see Lash with the hair down, half up, half down, or some kind of cute ponytail. That's what I want to see from Miss Legend. But for the gear, if they're going to plug her in this game without attaching her to like Metaphor or anything like that, I could see them going with this. Now, with this portion of NXT women I'm about to address, three things. They could either make base game, they could either make DLC, or they might not even make the game at all. Starting with Miss Ava, representing the faction Schism, which I don't think is... Didn't they lose like half of their team or something. Either way, now she's been a prominent manager. So whether she's in as a manager or a wrestler, because she has wrestled a couple matches, I don't know. I do see her making main game if she is going to be in the game at all, considering that Joe Gacy was DLC last game. I feel like they just will plug the entire schism in this new game. Next, we have Dani Palmer. Now, with Miss Dani, she's another one who she does have a couple wins under her belt, and she has been like steady, you know, proving her shit. But like, once again, she hasn't had like a main storyline. So her probability of making the game is not too strong, even as DLC. So who knows? Next, we have Stevie Turner, another who was on hiatus due to injury for a large portion of this year. Again, unfortunately, I feel like she's someone who's had like start, stop. Like they're going somewhere with her, then they stop, then it goes out, like, and because of that, another NXT UK talent, mind you, she's been with the company since 2021, I believe, or maybe even 2020. So she's, you know, put the years in, but I don't know her probability of making the game DLC or base roster. Next, we have the breakout star Sol Ruka. Now, I feel like for sure she'll be making the game, just because when she was prominent, like she was so like captivating, and people wanted her to be DLC in 2K23, never mind this game. So I do feel like she is going to be making the game this year, but as base game or DLC, I don't know. I mean, they could just completely gag us like how they did with like Roxanne and Nikita Lyons and put her on base game, or they can hold her back and make her DLC and put out that DLC and line up that DLC release to whenever she returns to TV. I feel like that would be a perfect idea also. I do see Miss Soruka making her debut in this game with that iconic finisher, Soul Crusher. Next, we have Valentina Feroz. Now, unfortunately, Valentina Feroz finds herself basically in the same position as she did last year, but with even less probability, because at least with last year, she had a whole tag team partner, and, you know, she had things going for her in that way. But as we all know, her tag team partner requested her release, so that kind of pushed Valentina back down the ranks again, and having to find her footing and where she belongs on the NXT roster. So unfortunately, I do not see Miss Valentina, like the odds of her making base game or a DLC, I feel like might be even lesser than like Dani Palmer at this point. Next superstar, and the last superstar in this list, is, once again, she finds herself in this area again, is Miss Tatum Paxley. Now, I love the way Tatum Paxley is being like showcased now. I love the gimmick, the black red Daphne tribute, the theatric she does. She like does this bridge, like she's all spooky and like mystical. I am eating it up. However, I'm not too sure where she stands with making 2K. I feel like she's someone who's kind of in a similar position as Electra, where it's like, at this point, just put her in the game. She was there since the beginning of 2.0. Like, just plug her in the damn game already. But at the same time, I feel like even Electra has had a little bit of more screen time and storyline than Tatum Paxley unfortunately has. Tatum has been paired with Ivy Nile. That fizzled away for whatever reason. Then she had a brief pairing with Blair Davenport that didn't even last a week. And now she has this new gimmick. She had a dark match, which I'm literally standing down, but once again, her probability of making the game, I don't know. There are a few other women that I left out of this portion of the list, mainly due to the fact that they were out on injury and rehabbing their injury. Majority of the cycle of development for this game, first one being Amari Miller, second being Ariana Grace. Now, Ariana has returned in full force, is featured in a prominent storyline, is getting a lot of TV time, so that is definitely gonna guarantee her a spot in the next game. Will it be enough to secure her DLC in 2K24? I feel like the cutoff date for DLC for this game has already passed us, so it's not likely that she'll be included in this game. Would love her though. That is it for NXT. Moving on to some legends. So we're going to kick things off with the 9th wonder of the world, Miss China. Now, China's been copied and pasted since 2K20. So will this game make any difference? Probably not. But I am advocating for this gear like I did in my last video. I love it. Would love to see it one day. Big curly hair, purple shiny gear. Love to see it. Next, we have my personal favorite of all time, Maryse. Now, just like China, They just keep copy and pasting my good sis, my mother. Like, why? She's been giving so many looks her like 2 times that she's been appearing on WWE television a year. Like, if they're not going to give her a new ring gear, like at least give her a new manager model with new hair and new makeup, you know? But anyways, when it comes to her look, like, once again, I'm advocating for this look. This is the last thing she wrestled in. This is arguably one of the best gear she's ever worn her entire career. So why would they just not give this to us? Like, I understand that it's like designed by like Zigman and they might have, you know, issue getting the rights to use the look and who knows, but I just would love finally an updated Maurice. We've had this Maurice model for the last 5 years at this point. I don't know what's holding them back. I don't know what it is, but we need a new Maurice model. Period. Next, we have Eve Torres. Shockingly, made her return to WWE games in 2K23. Like, no one was expecting that. Looking amazing as ever. Like, whoa, they really snapped with her model and they put effort into the entrance, the gear, the look, the moveset. They really snapped with Miss Eve. The hair too. Need that hair in Creation Suite. Unfortunately, I do think they're just gonna copy and paste her again. We've been seeing, like, come on guys, like there's a pattern, especially if they're a DLC legend. Like, they're just going to be copied and pasted until that contract expires and they get booted out of the game. Don't think anything is going to be different with Miss Eve Torres, but she looks good though, so I don't mind this model lasting a couple games. Next, we have Beth Phoenix. Now, she's still with WWE. Like, she's not on the alumni page, even though her husband, you know, kind of jumped ship and made his way over to the AEW. I'm not too sure when her legend contract is going to run out because she's been in the game for some time now. She's been in since 2K18. I believe that's 18, 19, 20, 22, 20. She's been in for 5 games so far. So this game will be her 6th. She's another one who's been copied and pasted every single entry. Like, this will be her 6th game in that tired ass white gear. She'll more than likely be wearing that gear again, I fear, but to manifest and speak into existence, if she were to update her, I guess they would update her in this gear that she wore against Rhea Ripley. That's a Diva legend right there. So would love to see her still in the game. Next, we have the $1 billion princess, Stephanie McMahon. Now, Stephanie left the company, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like, she resigned whatever position she had. So at this point, who knows if she's going to be making the game, but you know, she is an icon. She is a legend in WWE. So I don't know if that alone will be enough to keep her in the franchise, but she's another one who's just been wearing the same gear over and over. So if she is included, she is not going to be looking any more different than she already has been. Next, we have Stacy Keibler, just like Eve, a shocking addition to 2K22 DLC, but she has been copied and pasted into 2K23, and I don't think anything is going to change with this game, wearing this sleek, cute black gear. Next, we have Lita. Now, whoa, Lita finally making her return to the 2K franchise in this game. Gagged us in the worst way when it was revealed that she was still wearing that tired ass Raw 2004 or 5, whatever, main event gear, the army pants and the plain white top. Copyrighted ass gear, but also gagged us in the right way when we found out that she had alternate models because she was featured in the John Cena showcase managing her ex-Ting Edge. So she was putting this gear and another gear with like the V-neck skull top. Now she has 2 models. She has this one and then one with the bang. So I don't know which one they're going to continue on with. I don't think both make the jump to the new game. It's going to be either one or the other. And out of them 2, I think it might be this. Or they might even give us a brand new Lita model to coincide with the brand new Trish model. Lita's kind of up in the air with the looks that they're going to give her. I just don't want to see that copyright top gear ever again. Please, gone, banish it, throw it in the trash. We're done with it. New entrance too, by the way. She's due for that. Next, we have the iconic Molly Holly. She was a My Rise unlockable in 2K23. And I think they're just going to copy and paste her. Or she'll have her Raw 2005 model or Mighty Molly model. They're either going to just pick one and go for it. If I were to pick between this model and the Ruthless Aggression Molly, I would pick the Ruthless Aggression Molly. I feel like that's a better representation of the Molly Holly character. I just like that. It's such a cute hairstyle. Like, I want that in Creation Suite. Moving on to this small portion of the video. Now, I feel like this was so much bigger last year, but like, for what reason? Like, I was actually like dreaming. I was dreaming a lot in my sleep. Now, these are the legends that they could either make base game or they could make DLC, or they might not even make the game at all. And I've only like trimmed it down to 2 girls this year. And it's Michelle McCool, because Miss Thing has been, she returned in the Rumble this year again. And the Diva fans wanted. The Diva fans would love to see Michelle McCool make her return to the WWE game franchise. Like, we're waiting. We're waiting. And other than Michelle McCool, like, Luna Vachon, she's such an iconic, identifiable figure in women's pro wrestling, and I feel like honoring her in a WWE game would just be chef's kiss. Now, WWE game said everyone fooled because they had her name straight up in that ransom note puzzle Easter egg hunt that they used to market their DLC and had all the fans going crazy over. They had her name flat out in the corner, and everyone thought she was going to be DLC, but we were proved wrong and she was nowhere to be found. So I think it's finally time to include her in the game. I don't know how they go about going with including deceased legends in the game. Need to see Luna back in one day, finally, at least, because I feel like she was in one of those really, really old pixelated Sega Genesis original wrestling games. I know I'm being offensive to an entire crowd of wrestling gamers right now, but yeah, I'm sorry, that's not my era. I want to see Luna in sickening high definition graphics, please. Next, my favorite portion of the video, because this is honestly a free-for-all. Like, anything goes in this portion. Anything could happen. 2K always gags us, shocks us, disappoints us. So you never know what we're going to get in this portion of the video. And just like 2K, you never know what I'm about to give you in mine. Now, the first contender for 2K24 DLC is the queen of needing a little space to call her own, and that is Miss Tori Wilson, WWE Hall of Famer, contributed so much to the Diva brand and to the Diva name, the poster diva of the attitude turning into the ruthless aggression era, the blonde bombshell of the times. It's time to include her back in a WWE game. I feel like the last time she was in a WWE game was what, 16 years ago, 2007, when 2008 came out. And when it comes to her gear, same as my predictions from last year, I would love the cute pink look, either this or the black bra version that she wore in SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 with the leg warmers too. I also would not mind her SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 look if they want to reference that too, you know, the fur boots, love that. I also want to recommend for her entrance, I want Chloe. I would love Chloe, just the full package. And I might be in the minority here, but I kind of want her entrance theme to be a girl like that. Although I think like Need a Little Space is Tori Wilson's theme, period. Like, that's what she's been coming out to for every single appearance that she's had post in-ring retirement. So moving to the NXT side of things, walk with me. Jakara Jackson. Now, here's what I was alluding to earlier. Now, they could do two things here. They could either put Lash Legend on the base game, or they can hold Lash Legend back and make her DLC with Miss Jakara Jackson, and they can come as a pair and they can come matching and they can get the metaphor graphics. Like, it will just be a thing. Very cute, very swag. They could put Lash Legend in the main game with another metaphor member in Noam Dar, because Noam Dar has been in the franchise for years now. So those two can make the base game, but for DLC, they can include Jakara Jackson as well as Oro Menza, as well as all of the metaphor graphics and entrances and moves and whatnot, everything that comes with the team. But also, I'm not going to knock the idea of holding Lash Legend from the base game to keep her as DLC for this, because why wouldn't I want the most up-to-date Lash Legend? Like, I showed you that if she was base game, like, she'll probably be wearing that red gear. But if they held her back, I feel like she'd be in a matching cute pink, black, and silver gear with Miss Jakara Jackson, which is their best looks. I'm sorry. This isn't neat. If Jakara's DLC, this is what I wanted to wear. Oh, she looks so good. I do see her making DLC more than making main roster if she makes the game. And Metaphor is a prominent faction on NXT, so I do think we're going to feel their presence in 2K24. Next, walk with me. You're going to have to continue walking with me. I'm sorry. The 2023 Women's Breakout Star, Lola Vice. Now, she's another superstar who's been rising to prominence in NXT and getting over with the fans. She's hot, she's sexy, she has dangerous ass moves, she's a mixed martial artist. perfect candidate for DLC in this game. Now, she's been managed by Elektra Lopez. That's who has been aligned with her for basically her entire NXT run thus far. So I think it would be weird to have one without the other. So if Elektra's main game, I feel like Lola's definitely going to come up and join her. Or they might even hold Elektra back and make her DLC with Lola. And then also when it comes to her gear, same as her render. Like, she has a few to choose from, but I feel like this one is very, very cute. Okay, I'm sorry. You're going to have to keep walking with me here. You're going to have to keep walking with me. Get better shoes. The next and final DLC spot we have for NXT in 2K24 is Kalani Jordan. I decided to put Kalani Jordan because she's basically been the breakout star, in my opinion, of NXT in the past couple months. She has the potential to be literally the top women's babyface, bar none. This woman can go. And she had how much wrestling experience under her belt? Her moves are just so impressive. She's so fun to watch. And because she's had like kind of a rocket strapped to her back as of recent couple months, I could see her being DLC for the game. She started off being managed by the late Dana Brooke. She ain't dead, but she's just not there anymore. And ever since, you know, being separated from Dana, that has not stopped her momentum at all. So Kalani Jordan as DLC, I do not think that is too far-fetched. Hopefully we see her. She's had a lot of cute gears. I wouldn't mind any of the gear choices that she's given us. All right, so now this is a kind of a weird area because it's like, what are we gonna do? Now this is main roster DLC, and we're kicking off main roster DLC with the returning Nia Jax. Now Nia Jax returned at the Royal Rumble this year. Had the entire IWC speculating, is this full time? Is this just a one-off? Nobody knows. There were so many rumors circulating. She was not confirming nor denying. But then she did confirm that, yeah, that indeed was a one and done thing. But fall 2023, she made her return to gag us all. Mind you, one of the best re-signings of this year. Her and Chelsea Green, best re-signings of 2023. I wouldn't be surprised if they do give us either one of these gears that I have on screen here, either her main return gear or the blue turquoise rendition of it. However, I would love the white gear that she's been wearing as of recent. Like, if she's going to be DLC, might as well make her the most up to date. That's how I view it. We need to see Nia in this game, by the way. Like, there's no option for her not to be included in this game. Like, it would just feel so empty without her, considering that she is a force of greatness and has been a dominant force in the women's division. Next, we have the returning Kairi Sane, another one representing Damage Control as we speak. Now, she's somebody who I'm not too sure if she returned too late to make DLC. Definitely gonna not main this. At least Nia, with Nia Jax, I feel like she does have kind of a slim chance of making main game. But I feel like just the game's done. The game been done. So I feel like they're just gonna slide her in DLC. Kairi Sane, however, I feel like she just returned in the nick of time to make DLC. And I feel like she's also in a similar boat in the way that Valhalla was last year, where there's been rumors that she was going to be returning to WWE. So I feel like it's been in talks. Like, she could have signed that contract for all we know months in advance, and it was just a matter of time when to insert her into the storyline and when to return her onto television. So she could have been signed that contract to include her in the game. So they might even have her, you know, all cute and ready to go. They were just waiting for her return look. She's only worn one return look so far. So, and it's a slay too. I think this was the most blockbuster signing of a woman WWE has had since Ronda Rousey. It is, period, since Ronda Rousey. Like, no signing has had this much attention, news coverage, media coverage, acclaim than Jade Cargill. Now, with Miss Jade Cargill, we just don't know when she's going to be debuting. We don't know what gear she's going to be wearing. We don't know what her entrance is going to be looking like. We don't know what her moveset is going to be giving. Now, at least, like, as we all know, Jade Cargill's former AEW talent, so they can reference that. But I just feel like her completely missing the game totally this year, I feel like that would be just such a bad move. By the time she does come out, like, we need to have Jade Cargill in the game. And I feel like it's not going to be too long until she does pop out. I feel like at the top of next year is the latest Jade Cargill's gonna walk in and show these bitches up. And she's gonna be needed in the game. Like there's gonna be a large hole in the game if we don't have Miss Jade Cargill. And when we do eventually see the day we see Jade Cargill's model in 2K, it better put extra time and care in every single muscle, hair strand, eyelash, rhinestone on her gear. Like everything has to be perfect for the final DLC character that I'm predicting for 2K24. Honestly, guys, this might be one of the biggest reaches of all time, but as you've come to know, 2K has been giving us a random token diva the past 2 games. We got Stacy Keibler out of random. Actually, let's throw it back. We got Molly Holly in 2K20 despite her not even being in the Hall of Fame yet. And I feel like that was a bit of a shock. We got Molly Holly. Then we randomly got Stacy Keibler in 2K22. Literally nobody saw that coming. And then we got Eve Torres in 2K23. Eve Torres, both of these women, mind you, haven't even made a single on-screen appearance. God knows when, and haven't even had a match. Versus women like Kelly and Michelle McCool, even Trish Stratus and Lita, who have came back multiple times and haven't even gotten an updated model. Like where they're pulling these women from, the decisions to pull these women from and give them contracts to be in the game is beyond me. But continuing the tradition, the diva who I believe deserves to make her comeback in the WWE game franchise is none other than the Black Widow, AJ Lee. Now, the only reason I put AJ here is because I just feel something. I don't know what is, it's my diva senses, it's my daddy senses, just something is tingling. AJ is coming back to the WWE in some way within the next year, whether that be a TV special, whether that be some kind of on-screen role, whether that be getting another action figure, whether that be getting another game appearance. Like she's going to be honored in some way after, you know, she's been kind of wiped off the face of the planet after retiring. There was an interview that came out and she was talking about how there's been people like in her ear, you know, suggesting her to do different things. And she said she's going to take it slow. She's listening. She's going to take it slow. But it's like, girl, I know one of them is WWE. I know one of those people in your ear is WWE somewhere.
All of the bugs of wrestling and all of those things. There's definitely many people in my ear trying to get me to do things. And we're going to take it slow. We're going to start with WoW. We're going to start with commentating and producing. And, you know, just one step at a time.
I would love to see one of her iconic Divas Championship looks. Second longest reigning Divas Champion. Hello. Contributions to the final era of the Divas division will not be erased. I want to have it. So yes, we'd love to see one of my top favorites of all time make her way back to WWE in some way. This is a funny section. This is called, I don't know. Now in this section, you'll find release talent. You'll find, well, basically that's pretty much what it is. It's just release talent. It's talent that's currently not with WWE anymore. So it's up in the air whether they're going to make the game or not. We're starting this off with Miss Dana Brooke. Every women's wrestling fan, for the most part, heart broke when the news hit that Dana Brooke got released, because you know Miss Thing put in the work. You know she took every single opportunity. You know she tried and tried and tried her best and did with whatever she was given. And you just have to respect that as a WWE superstar, as a performer, as a worker. Like, that shit can't go unnoticed. So yes, Dana Brooke was unfortunately released on September 21st. I believe there was a whole slew of releases. So you'll be seeing a few of those dolls in this section right here. Next, we have Rowdy Ronda Rousey. Now, she, one of the most famous female superstars of all time, came in the game in 2K19, lasted all the way to 2K23. She's now wrestling on the indies and in Ring of Honor. I don't think she signed any contract. She's just making one-off appearances. But, you know, since she is wrestling elsewhere, I think that's an immediate red flag as to where they're going to be standing within WWE and within the company. She's much of a legend. She's much of a star to, you know, remain included in the franchise as a legend. Whenever she does decide to sign some kind of Legends deal with WWE is when we can potentially see her back in the franchise. Next, we have Aaliyah, another superstar that was released on September 21st, day of releases. Child, me and Aaliyah go way back. I've been creating Aaliyah since like WWE 2K16, 17, I swear. And she finally made her game debut last year and she looked good. That wig, that gear, the entrance, she got her own moves, like everything was just so good. But unfortunately, I do think she's gonna be a one-game wonder. She's joining the Hall of Fame of one-game wonders like Joy Giovanni, Oksana, Caitlyn, Saray. The next two superstars that I unfortunately do not see making their return to WWE games in the near future are unfortunately the Bella twins, or the Garcia twins, however you want to refer to them now. But these are the Bella twins. There's been a lot of controversy the past week on Twitter. She's been doing interviews talking about where she stands with WWE. Like, it's just not looking too good. I don't think the relationship's kind of hanging on by a thread. There's just been a lot of mess with claiming the Bella name and being able to take advantage of business opportunities outside of the company. And I feel like there just was no agreement between Nicole and Brianna and WWE, so they just decided to, you know, call a spade and mutually part ways. So because of that, I do not see them making their return to WWE games, although like it was a cute, you know, one-off appearance, making their return in 2K23 updated with the bobs. Next we have Miss Lacey Evans. She let her contract run out at the end of summer, I believe. She, out of all people on this list, definitely do not see making their return to the game. She's definitely out of here. She lasted since 2K19, I believe. She was DLC for that game, 2022, 23. To be honest, she's never had a bad model. She's slayed every single game, so she had a good run. The last person in this section is honestly so heartbreaking because I'm pretty sure, like, even if you weren't a fan of her, you were just looking forward to see her making a return back to WWE and WWE games, and that is Miss Emma. Homegirl didn't even last a year. Now, mind you, she was not booked consistently. Like, she pretty much rotted in catering for a large portion of her second or third WWE stint. Despite her not being booked, like, she was obviously going to make her return to the game. Like, she was going to have a brand new model, new entrance, new finisher. Like, she literally debuted the Widow's Peak as her finisher against Roxanne Perez. So we were going to even get a new Widow's Peak. Even if she doesn't make the game, hopefully the moves that they had planned for her will still make the game. Like, hopefully that Widow's Peak is still in there somewhere. We need that for Victoria. But it's just unfortunate how she didn't even last a year, and she returned too late to make the next game, and she got released before she could make the new game. Crazy. That brings us to the end of the 2K24 women's roster predictions. Let me know in the comments below who you think is going to make the 2K24 women's roster, whether that be DLC, whether that be NXT, because I'm pretty sure, like, when it comes to main roster, other than like Kairi Sane, Nia Jax, and Jade Cargill, we pretty much know who's going to be making the game there. But when it comes to DLC and NXT, sound off in the comments. Let me know who you think, or who you know. If you got a little, you know, inside tea, let me know who you think is going to make the game. Let me know, did I miss anybody? Who should I have mentioned in this video? Did I miss anybody? Last year I missed like Rhea Ripley and Wendy Chu, and y'all came for my neck. Don't forget to leave a like in this video. Subscribe for more 2K24 content, as we are now on the road to the new game, and I can't wait to start predicting and just, you know, describing my wants and, you know, putting out and manifesting my wants and needs for this new game. If you want to keep up with me, also make sure to follow me on X at DivaDadd-e, Instagram at DivaDadd-e, and TikTok at DivaDadd-e. Also turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing and liking and just contributing to the growth of this channel. I couldn't thank you more. And yeah, see you in the next one. DivaDadd-e out.